This is incredibly important to Europe. It might be our last chance of putting standards together with the US instead of letting China do it. So get together and get it done.
TTIP is very important. It's about facilitating trade with our today most important trading partner, getting away with obstacles, facilitating for small and medium-sized companies, but also the importance of us sitting together and forming the rules of globalization. Today, already in Europe, 31 million people are employed because of exports. We actually want to focus, and that we agree with the Americans, on small and medium-sized companies. Because big companies, they have bigger budgets, they have people who can deal with rules, they have resources, but small don't.
This is specifically extra good for the small and medium-sized companies, because to them the tariffs can be really punishing. They can't open, a branch somewhere over the Atlantic. The red tape is impossible for them to deal with, and they just stay out and they miss growth opportunities, and we miss more jobs in Europe. We have experience in this from Sweden. We opened up early, we've had a very free trade nation, and although there have been areas that have been hit, the net sum has always been better.
We're only interested in what we call a progressive TTIP, so we want to ensure that regulatory cooperation is at the highest level, it's not downward cooperation, that public services are excluded from any trade deal, and that we have a strong trade and sustainable development chapter, in other words, high labour and environmental standards in such an agreement.
Regulatory cooperation, both horizontally and in these sectors, and particularly in services, must be pushed with all willpower. The main ideas like ISDS and lowering of what they call standards, but what I mean, of course, is objectives of health and safety. The ISDS thing is largely pushed aside. For some, never enough, but I think that's really need not be an obstacle anymore. And this other is a myth.
The most important thing really is that negotiations are very transparent. And not only transparency on documents, there shall be transparency also in what is actually the advantage of TTIP, especially for SMEs and the European economy. We are, on one hand, are in favor of negotiations, but we have to make sure that the European standards are really kept as they are.
We have to be better at communicating the advantages of TTIP, because quite simply often, I'm afraid, the old cliche, the devil has all the best tunes, applies to TTIP. It is very easy to exaggerate the impact of some of the changes, and at the moment, I'd have to be honest and say I think we're losing the public, and that's a battle we have to engage in and win them back, and it's a battle that needs to be fought, frankly, on both sides of the Atlantic, not just on this side.